Now, even if you don't see it as your primary role to advise or inform people or tell them what to do, there still comes a time in almost any conversation where you might have even a small piece of information, like a resource you might recommend or a suggestion for a person. And when that time comes, it's important to think about the way we decide to exchange information back and forth with a client. So let's take a look at one method for doing that that is engaging and respectful of the client's boundaries. This is a structure for exchanging information that is borrowed from the style of communication called motivational interviewing. This is called elicit, provide, elicit. It is a three-step process for exchanging information back and forth with a client. Step one is you elicit. You ask what the person already knows, or maybe what they've already tried, things they've heard, things they've read, etc. Step two is you ask permission to provide some more information. And step three is you elicit or ask for a response. Elicit, provide, elicit. Ask what the person knows, share something that you know, and then ask for a response. This makes the interaction more engaging because we're going back and forth, essentially swapping ideas between the professional and the client. Let's take a look at an example of what that might sound like. Here, the helping professional says, "What do you already know about managing stress?" And the client says, "Well, I've heard it's a good idea to take some time for myself." And the helping professional says, "Yeah, I've heard that too. That's good. Would you be interested in hearing about another option?" And the client says, "Sure, I'll take whatever I can get here." And the helping professional says, "Some people find that exercise helps them release stress. What do you think about that?" So let's just review. First, the helping professional asked the client what he or she already knows. Then the helping professional asked permission to share some more information. When the client gave the permission, the helping professional finally offered that piece of information and then asked a question to re-engage the person. And that question was, "What do you think about that?" Here's an example of elicit, provide, elicit. Now, this is no guarantee that the client is going to like your suggestion and say, "Wow, exercise, that sounds great." It's perfectly common and perfectly normal for someone to say, I don't know, I really hate exercise. I can never get myself to exercise. I don't see how that's going to work now." That's okay. That doesn't mean that elicit, provide, elicit failed. You did the best you could to offer an idea gently and respectfully. If the person doesn't like your idea, that's all right. Maybe we try elicit, provide, elicit again with another suggestion, or go back to asking the client what he or she thinks is best. Let's look at a completely different example. In this one, the helping professional says, "What have you heard about the reasons to quit smoking?" And the client says, "I mean, I get it. It's bad for my health." And the helping professional says, "So you're perfectly clear on that. I certainly won't waste your time with a lecture about health then. Would you be interested in hearing another reason to quit smoking?" And the client says, "Other than health?" Sure." And the helping professional says, "Some people find that they're really motivated to quit by thinking about all the money they will save. What's your reaction to that?" Now, this is an example of using elicit, provide, elicit when we're not talking about strategies, we're talking about reasons to do something. And that's what makes this conversation a little bit different. And I just wanted to note that elicit, provide, elicit can be used as a style or as a structure for communicating any kind of exchange of ideas. So just to review where we've been, this method of elicit, provide, elicit acknowledges what the client already knows. This method also respects the client's right to disagree or reject the information. And this method engages the client in a back and forth exchange of ideas rather than a more one-sided lecture.